Hello community and welcome to a very special video. We're ranking the top 10 greatest, most memorable levels not just in the new trilogy, but in the entire Hitman history. And these are based obviously not so much on gameplay, but just the pure atmosphere and level design. I'm so excited. At the number 10 spot we have Shogun Showdown Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, a Japanese snow temple filled with ninja mercenaries with Jesper Kid's music blasting in the background. This level truly was one to remember, and here's the deal. The gameplay really doesn't stack up anymore, but man, what an atmosphere. The developers really knew how to immerse you into an environment. This level, much like a cheap hooker, really sucks you in, and I have to say, the level itself, it's built very well. It feels like a maze, it's very easy to get lost, and you never quite know where the ninjas can be, as they are watching you from all types of different angles. You truly feel in enemy territory. Even if you can't see them, you know they are out there, hidden, watching you from the shadows. Another great thing about this level is the lore of it. The first couple of games were very lore heavy. They gave 47 a lot more of a personality than recently, and it's no different in this one. This level has truly cemented itself as a Hitman classic, and for that, it earns its place onto this list. At the number 9 spot we have the Eye of Gale from Hitman 2. Although I'm not the biggest fan of this map when it comes to the gameplay, wow, what a visual, it looks absolutely amazing and I cannot deny it. It looks like it was ripped straight from a Bond film. Secret societies aren't a new thing necessarily, but it was interesting to see how IO would go about recreating one in the Hitman franchise, and boy did they knock it out of the park when it comes to this one. This map feels very much alive. The atmosphere is very immersing, with each NPC having their own story, from the initiates going around collecting tokens to the VIP members bragging about their wealth and conspiring future projects. It really does get the job done for making you feel like you're in a high-stakes situation. The castle is the main attraction, it's absolutely gorgeous to look at, and although I wasn't supposed to talk gameplay, it can also be scaled like in Assassin's Creed way. It is by far one of the most original and creative levels IO has ever designed, so I can't not have it on this list. It's just far too good to ignore. Number 8, Attack of the Saints Hitman Absolution. Absolution may have been very far from a perfect follow-up to Hitman Blood Money, at least when it comes to gameplay, but one thing it nailed is the immersive atmosphere and creative level design. The Saints are by far one of the most iconic Hitman villains. I don't know if it was the tight latex or the high heels, but boy were they memorable. And I'm sure right now the average Twitter user is losing their mind, calling me a misogynist or something, but my answer is fuck you, average Twitter user. These are by far one of the best designs in Hitman, as not only were they popular with the boys, for obvious reasons, but they are also one of the most popular costumes for female cosplayers. Seriously, anytime there is a Comic-Con or something, you're bound to see a group of women dressed like them. It just worked as a look, and the mission was very memorable too. Usually Agent 47 is the apex predator, but this time it was the other way around. You had to make your way out of a collapsing area filled with mercenaries and take down the Saints while you're at it. I simply cannot not have this mission on this list. It's by far one of the most iconic levels and villains we've ever come across. Number 7, Curtains Down, Hitman Blood Money. By far one of the most memorable missions in Hitman. What makes Curtain Down really stand out is not only how unique of a setting it is, but also the realism of the kills you can perform. Especially the opera actor Alvaro de Alvare, swapping the stage pistol for a real one is one of the most realistic kills in the series. If you don't believe me, just ask Alex Baldwin. The opera is not only immersive, but also very maneuverable, and there is no shortages of ways to take down your target. Hitman Blood Money was filled from top to bottom with some of the best levels we've ever seen, so for this one to stand out and be memorable to this day, you just knew it was special. It's also worth pointing out that the soundtrack for this level in particular is an absolute banger. When I made my 5 locations we need to see next video, I remember a bunch of you pointing out that this mission is one that needs to be remade for the modern games. And I couldn't agree more, this mission truly was special and there is no dispute that it belongs on this list. Number 6, Apex Predator Berlin Hitman 3. This map is what happens when IO puts their creativity in the right direction. Berlin is the story of Agent 47 going up against his former colleagues. Of course, being ICA, they are all wearing disguises, trying their best to fit into the crowd and strike Agent 47 from behind. When you first step foot in Berlin, you truly don't know who your targets are. It's only when you get close to them that Agent 47 is able to recognize them, as he whispers their name, knowing that in that moment, the past and present collide, as only one of them will leave this place alive. It bears a resemblance to the murder of crows from Hitman Blood Money, but in a new and reimagined modern way. Diana is no longer in 47's year, leaving you truly on your own, but the ICA agents do have a handler, and once you pick up one of the earpieces you can hear the frustration and fear in her voice as one by one she loses contact with all of her agents. The atmosphere, much like a fart in an elevator, is both suffocating and inescapable. Number 5. Traditions of the Trade, Hitman Contracts. Taking place in a Budapest hotel, this mission has everything you could ever want from a Hitman level. With an existing murder already being committed, the staff is on high alert, making any illegal move you make that much riskier. The hotel can be very beautiful and charming on one part of it, and then really dark and creepy on another. The targets are in different places, so you have to explore both sides in order to find them. This level has a lot of depth to it, a lot of mystery. Despite being a hotel, it delivers a lot of different environments for you to interact with, and in combinations with the creepy and unsettling music, this level is one you won't forget anytime soon. The dark tone of Hitman Contracts really helped this level to stand out, and it showed that a regular hotel map can still be very memorable if done right. It's one of the biggest reasons many players were excited when Bangkok was announced back in 2016. Many expected it to be an homage to this amazing level. Sadly, much like Whittleton Creek, it was but a pale imitation of something far greater. Number 4. Chasing a Ghost, Mumbai, Hitman 2. Mumbai is a map that has always been controversial. Some people really love it, others really hate it, but that's the gameplay. When it comes to the actual map itself, there is no denying that it is by far one of the biggest and most ambitious IO has ever created. They sent a full team out to scope it out and work on it, and it really shows just how much attention to detail they've put in it. The soundtrack on this map is also phenomenal, especially in the train yard. The city is packed with people, all types of colorful characters including a rival assassin. There's vastly different types of districts, from the Bollywood movie set to the construction site and train yard, but unlike other maps, they don't feel slapped together. They complement each other and give you what feels like a very authentic experience of the real place. It's a map with constant action. There is a mission story around every corner. All you have to do is listen to the people, and you're bound to hear something interesting that will help you complete it. The combination of the rich and wealthy aristocrats in rank and tower with the poor locals scrolling down below with the fantastic scenery and lighting make this map truly an unforgettable experience. Number 3. Vixen Club, Hitman Absolution. This level felt like something straight out of a Batman comic. First you have the cops who found the stripper from the club, raped and killed, and are going around looking for more potential victims. Then you have the club security trying their hardest to hide any evidence and mitigate any involvement. And of course you have the strippers who are worried about their friends going missing, knowing that Dom Osmond is the one responsible for their disappearance, and overwhelmed by fear that they could be next. All of these forces collide to make what is by far Absolution's greatest level. At first, when you walk into the club, you see the neon lights, the awesome music, the crowd of guys loving every moment with the strippers earning their paycheck, and you think, well, it can't be that bad. But once you progress through this level, you find out just how twisted and grim it actually really is. The shiny interiors and music downstairs, hiding the horrors that are being committed upstairs. This mission has a mood to it, a mystery begging to be solved. It's a shame that Absolution veered so far away from the gameplay structure players love, because a lot of people seem to write it off as a bad game, which is definitely not the case. It has some of the best levels and atmosphere we've ever seen, and this level in particular is one you cannot overlook. Number 2, the Meat King's Party, Hitman Contracts. Man, we're getting to the good stuff. Maybe the darkest Hitman level ever made, a beloved level by most of the fans, yet you know it will never be remade because the pussies will complain. A fetish party taking place in a meat processing factory with awesome music blasting in the background. This mission is very difficult to forget, even if you tried. The dark tone of this mission was on a completely different level to anything before or since. You are sent there to find the girl that has gone missing and go after the people responsible for her disappearance. Once you find what happened to her, it's time to deliver them justice, as you hunt them down one by one through the factory. First, the guy who killed her, looking like a Mr. Pig sketch art. Then a guy with a devil mask, who's higher than a Western woman's dating standards. And finally, last but not least, Nikado Avocado himself. I don't know what type of drugs the lead designer was on when he had the hallucinations of making this level, but I'm glad he did because it gave us one of the most iconic missions in Hitman history. Now it's time to move on to the honorable mentions. First off, it's Beldingfort Manor from Hitman Contracts. A very eerie mission with a dark tone and an original design Beltingthorn Manor quickly became a favorite amongst many Hitman players. It's one of the big reasons Dartmoor was created in the first place as an homage to this amazing level. Secondary, we have a Dance with the Devil from Hitman Blood Money. Agent 47 has to infiltrate a masquerade party at the Shark Club in Vegas. It has the theme of both heaven and hell, with creative and detailed environments created for both of them and no shortages of assassinations. You're bound to have a lot of fun with this level. Do be careful though, you're not the only assassin roaming around. And finally, we have Showstopper from Paris Hitman 2016. Being the first level of the new Hitman trilogy, IO went above and beyond to make it special, and their hard work really shows through. With an amazing atmosphere, beautiful architecture, and some of the most brutal and creative assassinations to date, Paris earns its place as one of the best maps in the series. It's still fresh in my mind from my latest 100% competition review, and I have to say, it really is a shame how often it gets overlooked, because it came first. Because above even the great gameplay Paris has, a lot of heart. Anyways, moving on to number 1. And at the number 1 spot we have, drumroll please, Colorado Hitman 2016. I'm just kidding, of course. The real number 1 is A New Life Hitman Blood Money. I bet you didn't expect that swerve, but you see, just like a streetwalker's butthole, I'm always full of surprises. However, you really shouldn't be surprised with my number 1 pick. It is by far the most iconic level from Hitman Blood Money. When IO wanted to recreate a level from Blood Money, this is the one they went after. They butchered it, don't get me wrong, but they knew if there was a Blood Money level to recreate, this was the one to do. The vast majority of people, when they think of Blood Money, they think of this level. Not everyone, but most people do. And there is a good reason for it. It is very based in reality mission. The beauty of it, it is in its simplicity. The beautiful sound of birds and nature in the background. The peacefulness of the suburbs. It's the perfect environment for a great Hitman level. There's just something about it that makes it so distinctively real. So undeniably alive. Well, until Agent 47 makes his move at least. It's incredible how something so regular and ordinary like a suburban map can be just so memorable, but for that it earns the number 1 spot on this list. With the MotoGP season coming to an end, I decided that I want to do more with this channel. In combination with these types of videos, I'm gonna start covering the elusive targets and escalations, and also talk about the roadmaps. The reason I haven't up to this point is because these videos take a very long time to make, and I'm always running late on them. So I just didn't have time to cover all that extra content, but I'll start trying to do so from now on. I want to make this channel like a one-stop shop for Hitman content, and please, if you enjoyed the video, press that like button and do subscribe for more content. These videos do take a lot of time, and the more subscribers I have, the more I sort of fuel myself to make each video better than the last one. Also, don't be surprised if you see some content that isn't Hitman related from time to time, as it just allows me to recharge the batteries and not get burnt out. With all that being said, thank you very much for watching.